The Kent State men's basketball team is back, and they were looking for an upset at Auburn this past Wednesday. Could Kent State pull it off?
The Buckeyes played at iconic Wrigley Field on Saturday. Did they knock it out of the park against Northwestern?
And the Cleveland Browns were looking to get back in the win column Sunday in New Orleans. Can they stop the Saints from marching in and getting a win? All of this and more are coming up as a brand new Sports Corner is coming your way right now. From the Franklin Hall studio on the campus of Kent State University, this is Sports Corner. Alongside Liv Sharp, I'm Matt Corrali, and Liv, Kent State football on Saturday looking to get their first win against the Miami Redhawks.
Yeah, that's right. They only had 3 games left to do it, and they had to go into enemy territory to try and get the win.
But unfortunately for Kenny Burns' crew, they could not get the job done as they visited Yager Stadium on Wednesday to take on the Redhawks. Kent State led for the first time all year thanks to the duo of junior Tommy Ulatowski and sophomore Krishawn McCray connecting from 11 yards out. But after that, it was all Redhawks as the 1 seed scored 34 unanswered en route to a 34-7 victory. Kent State will return home tomorrow as they host that school down the road for the highly anticipated Wagon Wheel rivalry. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. at Dick Stadium. You can also tune in on CBS Sports Network.
The Kent State men's basketball team traveled to Auburn as they took on the Tigers. The Flashes kept it close throughout the game but could not pull off the upset in Alabama, losing by a score of 79-56. Senior Jalen Solinger scored 16 points and redshirt senior Von Cameron Davis added 19. The Flashes went on a pair of runs in the second half to cut the lead to 5, but the 5th-ranked Tigers would pull away. The Flashes will return to the Mack Center on Thursday as they host Niagara. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m.
Moving to the women's side of things, the Kent State women's basketball team continued their road trip in North Carolina as they took on the Elon Phoenix Saturday. The Flashes struggled late in the game, missing on 3 consecutive possessions in the final minute as part of a 66-63 loss. Senior Jenna Batch led the way for Kent State, but it was not enough as the early season struggles continue for the Golden Flashes. They'll look to turn the tide as they host the Duquesne Dukes in the Mack Center Wednesday at 7 p.m.
The Kent State wrestling team faced off against the Bellarmine Knights on Sunday. The Flashes could not get the job done on the road and ended up falling short by a score of 25-14. Junior Billy Meisner and Nico Colello received decision wins at 149 and 125 pounds. Graduate student Jordan Decatur and redshirt freshman Holden Martin also earned wins in the contest. The Flashes will travel to the Naval Academy on Saturday for the 2024 Navy Classic at 9 a.m.
The cross-country team competed in the NCAA Great Lakes Regional Championships on Friday. Standout senior Beatty Baugh continues to put his name in the Kent State record books as he broke the school's men's 10K record formerly held by himself. On the women's side, senior Sydney Miller led the way for the Flashes, recording a personal best at a time of 22:36, finishing 166th overall. Ball will continue his season Saturday at the Cross Country Championships, and you can catch the action on ESPNU and the ESPN app starting at 9:30 a.m.
It was senior day for the volleyball team as they hosted the Toledo Rockets in their season finale. The Flashes could not end their season on a high as a team, but had some impressive individual performances. Freshman Leslie Fruta led the team with a career-high 16 digs, and junior Kendall White earned 10 digs, recording her 14th double-double of the season. Catch the Flashes back on the court next season as we will see players like Leslie Fruta back to reach more career highs.
Now let's go to today's Golden Flashback as we take you back to 1998 when the Kent State men's basketball team took down the Youngstown State Penguins to pick up win number 1 of the season by the final of 67-56. The Flashes were led by sophomore Kyra Massey, who scored 16 points and grabbed 7 rebounds. This team for Kent State was one of 7 to make it to the big dance in program history, as this was the year they defeated the Miami Redhawks en route to a MAC championship. The Golden Flashes finished with a 23-7 record, tied for 5th most wins in school history. This has been another Golden Flashback. Liv?
Bundle up, grab your hot cocoa, and find a spot in the stands as it's time for Friday Night Lights. It's the regional semifinals. Shout out to KSTV alum Ty Belcher for the footage. We've got the Massillon Tigers taking on the Tees Valley Vikings. Let's get to the action. Tees Valley goes 3 and out on their opening drive and is forced to punt. It takes a bounce, and Tyler Hackenbracht gets the ball and skirts to the right side. He takes it to the house. The Tigers lead 7-0 in the first, a sign of things to come. Massillon up 14-0. Mylan Lennox gets the handoff, and holy spin move. He's dropped at the ankles, but still gets over the goal line. Let's get some passing in here. Jalen Slaughter hurls it over the middle for Braylon Tolles. He gets into the end zone untouched, and Massillon is looking for a trip to the finals. But Tees Valley fans, you will not be shut out. QB Brady Farmer drops back and connects to tight end Luke Burgett, and the Vikings trail 28-7. But hey, we all know who's getting the dub. One more Tiger Tutty, just for good measure. This one from Jameer Gable, his only carry of the night, goes 52 yards into the end zone. Massillon gets a big 48-14 win and will face Big Walnut on Friday.
And we are going to head over to Middlefield as Perry faces Streetsboro. Perry up 17-0 after this touchdown to Brody Petroselli over the middle. 41 yards and 2 touchdowns for him on the night. Now Streetsboro needs to battle back. Cohen Climac hands it to sophomore Marcus Council, who pushes his way into the end zone. He starts to come back for the Rockets, 7-17 now. The Perry Pirates did tack on another touchdown after that. It's now 24-7, but this big play by Cohen and Marcus once again sets up a Cohen Climac touchdown. Rockets are starting to come back. Now we are in the third quarter. Rockets punt, and then they force a fumble, which sets up this Cohen Climac touchdown. It is now 24-21. Now, with his back against the wall, Walter Moses finds Jimmy Ashburn on a broken coverage. The Perry Pirates are going to go ahead by 9 because they missed the extra point. Now, Cohen Climac, game in his hands now. He rolls out, and he is met by Andrew Smith, who sacks him. Perry tacked on 2 touchdowns with a final 45-27.
All right, let's take a look at some Friday night finals around the state of Ohio. In the regional semis, Avon is heading to the D2 regional final for their 8th straight time over Wadsworth, 41-10. Hoban takes down Nordonia 48-13. Brayton Feister, their running back, 270 yards and 5 touchdowns in that game. Walsh Jesuit takes down Austin Town Fitch to set up a regional final with the Hoban Knights. That game saw Hoban win in 2023. And Menor pitches a shutout for the second week in a row. That team could make its way to Canton, Ohio, and the state championship. All right, so let's bring back Anthony here because this Perry team has been impressive all season long. They put together a statement win last Friday, didn't they? Yeah,
I mean, it was a really difficult win for them, as we could see. They kind of let Streetsboro back into that game. What really saw it, though, is their quarterback, Walter Moses. I mean, the dude is just, he's absolutely incredible. I mean, he's going to Toledo. He definitely kept them in there. They also have a very talented nose tackle. He is a lot smaller than the rest of the guys, but let me tell you, he is fast and he plays hard, and he was destroying Streetsboro Center pretty much that whole game.
So you mentioned Moses. Let's talk a little bit more about him. Why is he your player to watch?
Well, first of all, he's committed to Toledo. I mean, that's a pretty solid program over there. And as a quarterback, as we see back in the replays, you know, he is very calm. He's able to roam around. He's very versatile. He's an improviser. He just, you know, has a knack for finding the open receiver, and he does not panic even when he has to scramble out of the pocket.
All right, well, thank you so much. We appreciate you covering Streetsboro football all year. Sad it had to end this way, but hey, there's always next year. So you have followed Streetsboro and seen them play all fall. What are your thoughts on this season?
Well, my thoughts, you know, it's a little different than everybody else because I myself am a Streetsboro graduate. And this is the best football team I've ever seen come out of that school. So it's kind of sad to see it all end. A lot of these seniors that, you know, have played this year, I grew up with their older siblings, so I have known them for such a long time. And to see them, you know, they weren't defeated. They had a great season, but man, was it heartbreaking for them. And, you know, I think that journey just meant so much to not just them, but also the city, that it was really hard to see them lose that way, but they had an absolutely phenomenal season.
And Anthony, they're going to be losing 9 seniors this year. Players like Jackson Gula and Cohen Climac. Do you think they're going to continue to play well into 2025 and beyond, even though they lose a bunch of seniors and high-name profile players? Well,
we kind of said the same thing last year, right? I mean, we had Preston Hopperton running that ball, and now he's here at Kent State. Everyone was saying that the offense is going to take a step back, not having Preston, but Cohen stepped up and turned into the player that he turned into. Just a couple other names that, I want to mention is Arthur Scott. He is a very good defensive lineman. He seems to wreak havoc on offensive lines, as well as Cooper Richmond, two of their best defensive linemen. Marcus Council, as we saw in the highlight, he had a couple of really big plays for Streetsboro in that game, and he's only a sophomore, as well as Janier Cook will be returning for his senior season, and he saw a pretty heavy workload too. So I think that they may take a step back depending on who the new quarterback is, but I fully anticipate that they are maybe a 9-10 win football team once again.
Well, like we mentioned earlier, we appreciate your coverage of Streetsboro all season long, and thanks for joining us this evening.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
It's the Megan Maroney game. Are you wearing Tennessee orange for him, or do you still want the Dogs to win? We'll find out next.
I got you.
Oh, yeah, I got him.
That stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
My controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any. OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake.
I am McGruff, the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops...
Could blow up in your face.
That's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
We've got a battle in a ballpark. Ohio State comes into Wrigley Field taking on the Wildcats of Northwestern. Let's get into the action because this is a unique one. Let's play ball, shall we? Buckeyes and Wildcats from the north side. Second quarter, a Northwestern fumble and an Ohio State punt was the entirety of quarter number one. And we'll start quarter number two with a Jack Lausch quarterback keeper for a score, 7-0 Cats. Ohio State drives down the field for a touchdown, but on the ensuing drive for Northwestern, you see it there. The snap goes over the head of Hunter Renner. The punt is blocked by David Adolph. It goes out of bounds at the one. You see it again. It goes through the hands of Renner. He picks it up at the one, tries to get it away, but Adolph swats it to the sideline. Then 2 plays later, Quinn Jan Junkins will take it in for the 1-yard score. It's 14-7 Ohio State. After a Northwestern punt, 2nd and 8 for the Buckeyes from the 25. Will Howard lobs it up. Who caught it? I didn't even see. Oh, it's Carnell Tate. He got the diving catch for the score. 21-7 Buckeyes at the break. Buckeyes get the ball to start the half. Howard finds Tate again, and this was a big one for him, the Chicago native. With 4 catches, 52 yards, and 2 touchdowns, Ohio State tacks on a field goal and win it 31-7, flying the W at Wrigley.
Hold on to your hats, Portage County. It's time for some SEC playoff determining action this week. I'm Evan Schofield. Let's get into it. It's time for some SEC action as the Georgia Bulldogs face visiting Tennessee. Who wins the quarterback battle? Let's find out. 3rd and goal now. It's going to be a handoff to Miles Kitzelman. Tight end leap, touchdown, 7-0 Vols. It's Carson Beck's turn on 2nd and goal. He drops back, fires, and it's a toe-tapping touchdown for Oscar Delp, his 2nd of the night. Dogs up 14-10. Tennessee, they have to answer here as the half comes to a close, and Nico Iamaliava hands off to Dylan Sampson to the 20 to 10. Nobody's stopping him. Touchdown Tennessee, 17-14 going into the half. It's a tie game in the third. Beck drops back. He's flushed. He takes off. He's not stopping. And he's in for the touchdown. Georgia on top now approaching the fourth quarter. Can Georgia add to the lead to close out their game? Beck gets the jump. He fires down the right sideline. It's caught. London Humphrey snatches it without looking. It's a first down. First and goal for Georgia to secure the game. Who else but Nate Frazier? He takes a Bulldog leap for an easy touchdown. What a dominant performance for the Bulldogs, beating Tennessee 31-17.
All right, the boys from the Bayou are headed into the swamp. Number 22 ranked LSU is set to visit Florida. First and 10, DJ Lagway feels the pressure and throws to Elijah Badgers, who falls into the end zone, and the Gators go up 7-0. But the LSU Tigers are looking to strike back. Garrett Nussmeier in the pocket, hit as he throws, but Aaron Anderson still makes the catch and gets the tutty. We're tied at 7. Later in the third, we're tied at 13. Nussmeier under pressure, running backwards. He gets tackled, and he fumbles the ball. Emory Jones Jr., the big fella, scoops it up, and then he fumbles the ball, and Caleb Banks recovers it for Florida. They did not give him the first down, though. They did still avoid disaster for the Gators. First and goal, Jacoby Jackson takes it at the 1 for 6, and the Gators retake the lead. Now, Jalen Baugh only had 65 yards, and here's 55 of them. He gets the handoff, skirts the outside, and he is home free. And Florida hands LSU their third straight loss by a final of 27-16, all but ending their playoff hopes with a fourth loss to LSU.
Out in the Big 12, Kansas taking on number 6 BYU. Head coach of the Cougars, Kalani Sitake, ready for action in prime time. First Jayhawk drive, 2nd and 3 from the 8. It's Devin Neal who takes it up the middle for the touchdown. 7-0 Jayhawks. Second quarter, it's 7-3 Kansas. First and 10 for BYU from the 30. Jake Retzlaff will find Hinkley Ropati on the halfback wheel for the touchdown. 10-7 by BYU. It would be 10-10 at halftime. In the fourth quarter, it seems as though they're going for it on 4th and 14. But quarterback Jalen Daniels will punt it away. It hits Evan Johnson. Ball is free, and it's recovered by Quentin Skinner. And the Jayhawks get set up at the 3 on the next play. They'll give it to Neal, who goes straight up the gut and straight across the goal line for the touchdown. His second of the night, 17-13. One last chance for BYU. Retzlaff hits Chase Roberts, but he's tackled by Marvin Grant, and he's 3 yards short of helping BYU stay unbeaten. That'll do it. Kansas upsets BYU in Provo by the final of 17-13. Taking a look at the AP Top 10. 1 through 5 on the left side of the graphic, that all stays the same. Notre Dame and Alabama move up 2 spots. Georgia up 3 thanks to that win we showed earlier against Tennessee. And with that Vols loss, they are down 4 thanks to that loss to the Dogs. So let's bring in Evan Schofield once again. That Tennessee-Georgia game, like we mentioned earlier, it was electric. So with the loss, however, taking things to the Tennessee side, can they work their way back up in the college football playoffs?
Well, Matt, yeah, the Vols took the early lead, but, you know, they couldn't contain Carson Beck. He looked stellar that game. And look, Georgia, they took command, but I think the Vols still have a chance to get up in those rankings. You know, of course, they were number 7 before, now they're number 10. You know, Georgia has taken care of them. But, look, they have a relatively easy schedule coming up, right? They have UTEP, and they also have Vanderbilt, both unranked teams. I think Tennessee has the chance to end the season off pretty strong. Look, they have to finish drives in the second half. We saw a complete Georgia defensive shutout in the second half of that game, and you cannot have that if you're going into the playoffs. That has to be fixed up. And E.M. Aliava, look, he was pretty quiet. He had a quiet game. I think he had 167 yards on 20 completions. But look, you know, it's fine. 8-2, their only other loss to Arkansas. I think they can still compete, guys.
Yeah, you just got to win out.
Well, now let's talk about the other side of that game, Georgia. I mean, what has been the best thing about that team this season?
Liv, I'm glad you asked that because Georgia has come back this year. You know, they've bounced back. You know, they had a devastating loss to Ole Miss last week, and we were like, look, maybe Georgia's out of it. Maybe they're done. But look, they came back and they fought, and Kirby Smart, he got the passing game going. It was an impressive defense. Like I said before, they had a defensive shutout on Tennessee, a very high-scoring offense. Yeah, they shut him down in the second half, and Beck, like I said before, he looked like a first-round pick out there. Seriously. He had a very, very good game out there, and I think he can continue that. The run game, you know, not too strong. They were missing their starter, but Nate Frazier, he definitely contributed. He might have not gotten the yards, but he did contribute to that game. They controlled their own destiny for the playoffs. Seriously, I think they do, and they got to win, and Bama has to lose next week, but I think it's possible.
And speaking of the playoffs, kind of taking things into the grand scheme of things, because we've seen teams at the buzzer, it felt like, get into the postseason. So is there a team, Evan, that you think can do the same at the final week of the year, just get into the postseason and have their year continue?
Well, Matt, we've heard the hype. Give me Colorado.
Ooh.
Give me Colorado to get in those playoffs. They are hot. They're very hot. And look, 2 years ago, this organization was horrible. There was no funding. There was nothing. And then Deion Sanders, he comes in. He makes this a team that competes. He comes in and gets them to 8-2. And look, I think the divisional games between Kansas and Oklahoma State remain extra important. They have to also win out, as well as Georgia. And I think if they win those, they can beat the Cougars in the Big 12 championship, and then that would get them to the college football playoffs. It's obviously a long road, but I think they're unbelievable. They're unbelievable, Matt. Both sides of the ball have been incredible. They've been amazing. People like Shadur Sanders, he's been great as a quarterback. He's already projected to go in the first round. People like Travis Hunter, they're ball players. They are ball players. They play ball, right? Their opponents are averaging 230 yards per game, so their defense is obviously pretty good. So, yeah, give me Colorado.
It's going to be a crazy end of the season. Thanks, Evan.
Thanks, Matt.
This week, we'll be heading out to the desert for our team spotlight, and we'll be highlighting the Arizona Sun Devils. ASU has blown their expectations out of the water this season and are currently sitting at 8-2, good for third in the Big 12. They have kept themselves alive in the hunt for the Big 12 title game and will make their way into the college football playoff rankings once they come out on Tuesday night. Head coach Kenny Dillingham has to take a lot of credit for the incredible turnaround from back-to-back 3-9 campaigns the previous 2 years to their 8-win mark with a chance at a double-digit win season still within reach. Dillingham has injected an infectious energy into the program, and the players have bought into it completely. None more than QB Sam Levitt and running back Cam Scatabo, who have become the heart and soul of this team. We're excited to see how ASU will finish their season and hope they continue to find success.
All right, Liv, thank you very much. Well, the Buffalo Bills found themselves at home on Sunday, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. But can they ice out the Chiefs, who come in red hot? Find out next.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff the crime dog. He's a fake. Oh.
I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. You're smart. Buy smart.
Well, the Browns game on Sunday was something. Jerry Jeudy had his first 100-yard game in years, but was it enough for Cleveland to get a win in New Orleans? Let's find out as we head to the Superdome. Saints are having an interesting year. They're 3-7. They're looking to get one more in front of the home faithful. And after a Browns turnover on downs on the first drive, Taysom Hill will take the read option into the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. 7-0 Saints. Both teams would exchange punts, so Cleveland would start at this drive from their own 11. Jameis Winston on the run hits Jerry Jeudy, and Jerry Jeudy will go. 89-yard touchdown. It's the fourth longest play in Cleveland Browns history. They tried to go for two, didn't get it, so it's 7-6. Saints still in front. It would be 14-6 at halftime, and in the second half, Winston rolls and hits Elijah Moore for the touchdown. They go for two and get it with Winston hitting David Njoku, so we're all even at 14. Fourth quarter, Saints going for it on the Browns 33, and Hill breaks tackles and will go in for his second rushing touchdown. 21-14, New Orleans gets the lead back. Late fourth after the Saints tack on another score. 2nd and 7 from their own 25, and Hill is gone. 75 yards, 7 carries, 138 yards rushing for Taysom Hill, and 3 touchdowns later helps New Orleans beat the Browns 35-14.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Williams, and we're here to take a look at the NFL. Heading down to Chicago, we're going to go to Soldier Field. We got Packers and Bears. A flag is thrown right away as Jordan Love looks to find Jaden Reed in the end zone. That's a touchdown for the Packers. Caleb Williams gives it to Rashawn Johnson. Bears take the lead with that touchdown. Heading into the halfway through the third, Love hands the ball to Josh Jacobs. He's going to go through the gap and he'll stroll right into the end zone. Green Bay takes the lead back. The Bay up with 30 seconds in the quarter. Williams pitches the ball to DeAndre Swift. He's going to take it all the way. Chicago back in the lead. Green Bay now in the red zone. Love is going to push his way into the end zone. Green Bay's up by 1 now. Minute 30 left in the game. Williams will find Rome Odunze for a huge gain. This sets them up in field goal position. Cairo Santos lines up for the 46-yard field goal. Carl Brooks tips the ball, and Santos will miss the kick. Green Bay will take the win after a long back-and-forth score of 20-19.
Chiefs looking to go 10-0, but will the Bills play spoiler at Highmark Stadium? Let's get to it and find out. First and goal for Buffalo, handoff to James Cook. He's hit several times, but still fights into the end zone, and Buffalo takes the lead 13-7. In the second quarter, Bills back in the red zone. Allen with defenders in hot pursuit. He fires to Curtis Samuel, who dashes in for 6, and the Bills are rolling. Do your dance, Samuel. You get your first touchdown of the season. But we all know Pat Mahomes isn't going away. He throws on the run to Noah Gray, who gets his second touchdown of the night, and the Chiefs are trying to stage a comeback in the fourth quarter. Buffalo trying to send the Chiefs home with a loss. Allen pump fakes and runs for the first down and says, hey, I'll just take it all the way home myself. He muscles his way in for 6 with a 26-yard touchdown run. The Bills are up 30-21, but it's Mahomes with the game on the line. Can he keep the perfect season alive? No, he gets picked off, and the Bills win it. No table is safe in Buffalo. They get the W 30-21. All right, well, we just saw the Bears and the Packers. David, what are some key takeaways from that game?
Yeah, so it was a very good game, conference game. Packers, 1 by 1. Great. I will say, it was a little slow for my liking. I think they were kind of sluggish on the field. It was a lucky win. I don't want to say it's a lucky win because they did earn that win. However, I don't think they reached their full potential. One issue that they had was on 2nd and 1. They decided that they were going to get flagged for illegal men downfield. And that is not great, especially when you're throwing it with 1 yard to go. Why? Why are you throwing it with 1 yard to go? Just get him in there. I think that was a questionable move. Another thing is 2 plays later, he threw an interception, which arguably would have been ending up a touchdown. That's tough for them. I will say they didn't look bad. I don't think they looked bad at all. I just think, I mean, it is a conference game. It's going to be tough for them. But they are having trouble putting pressure on the QB, the quarterback. They can't seem to get any pressure at all, and in the end, it does really hurt them. And they can't do it reliably. If they do, it's once in a blue moon, really. And another thing they, I think, have struggled to do all season, really, is being efficient in the red zone. They can get the ball downfield all day, but the second they're in scoring position, they kind of freeze up a little bit. And it's something they just have to work through as a team. I will say, I think they did it a little better against the Bears. They were able to get those touchdowns. It was just a fairly low-scoring game.
And going to a game we didn't highlight, Chargers and Bengals on Sunday Night Football.
Yes.
Who do you think had the biggest impact in that one?
Yeah, so for me, I got to say Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was able to bring his team back from a 21-point deficit. That's incredible. It's absolutely huge. He threw over 50% for 350 yards. And for him to be able to come back and do that against Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh is crazy. T. Higgins came back from injury. He had over 350 yards, which is absolutely insane coming right off of injury. I think he had an amazing performance. And Jamar Chase with 75 yards to add to that is absolutely incredible. He got the ball 7 times, and I think ultimately, if they had a little bit better of a offensive line, that last play, Joe Burrow would have hit T. Higgins. That would have ended the game. The Chargers defense was just too good. And we've seen them, they're very good. They're a very good defense. They have very good coverage, and it's hard to say. I do think that the Chargers played very well. Ladd McConkey ended the night with 123 yards. He one of his best games all season. I was pleasantly surprised to see that. He is on my fantasy team, so that was amazing. He had 6 receptions. I think he was a key player for the Chargers, but ultimately Joe Burrow really stuck out to me. He led his team. He didn't win, but I don't really think the win, I don't want to say mattered, because it did matter, but I think it really proved that he's a solid quarterback, and he's not talked about enough, in my opinion.
Well, we all joked upstairs that Joe Burrow is having an MVP season with
no, he really is.
Just a really rough record. But let's turn to another surprising game. We saw the Broncos put up an absolutely dominant display against the Falcons. Do you see them making the playoffs?
Liv, as much as I would like to see that, I don't know if it's possible. You look at Bo Nix, amazing quarterback. He does not have much to work with. Don't give me that look. I saw you that look. Bo Nix is a great quarterback.
Well, you said amazing. I'll give you great,
listen,
but I don't know they'll give you amazing.
He is an amazing quarterback.
Okay.
He just has nothing to work with.
All right.
He has Cortland Sutton and who else? Nobody to work with. If he had literally anybody else, I think their season would have been completely different. I think it's definitely a step up from last season, and the season before that, and the season before that, and the season before that, and what have you, because it's just been so long since they've had a good season. Bo Nix is a step in the right direction. Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton are the only 2 people on that team who can get the job done. And I genuinely believe within the next couple years, we'll see a pretty decent playoff run with them. I think they just need a better offense. Their defense isn't bad. It's really just the fact that Bo Nix only has 1 person to throw to.
Well, hopefully they make some good draft picks. Thank you, David.
Yep.
Well, out in Arlington, Texas, Monday Night Football, Texans in a Texas showdown are up 7-0 on the road, and you see it right there. Joe Mixon, the former Bengal, a 45-yard rushing touchdown to kick off the scoring. Well, in the NBA, will the Cavs get stung on a visit to the Hornets, or are the good times going to roll in the land?
Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now.
No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Reach out, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to.
You know, many have asked over the years, decades even, is perfection an illusion? Well, the 14-0 Cavs will let us know as they took on the Charlotte Hornets Sunday, looking to get win number 15. There's LaMelo Ball. He's quietly having a great year, averaging 30 so far to start the year. Darius Garland, you'll hear his name a lot in this highlight. And it will start with a pass full court to Isaac Okoro. Check this out. No look. And the reverse layup to boot. 13-5 Cleveland. Late second quarter, Cavs up 12. Garland going inside, dishes it off to Jarrett Allen with the right-hand slam. Cavs are now up 14. A minute later, Garland, a nice pass to Evan Mobley. We'll check it out again. Look, you know, people say if people have eyes in the back of their head, well, Garland has eyes everywhere on his head, making these no-look passes. Second half, LaMelo Ball leans into a three and knocks it down, making it 89-83. In the fourth, Garland with a nice move to get the lay inside. A few minutes later, Garland kicks it out. Ty Jerome in the corner will hit the tray. And the next time down the floor, Garland would do it himself. 25 points, 12 assists. It's his third double-double of the year. Donovan Mitchell waves goodbye to the Hornets as they take it 128-114 to go to 15-0.
Hello everyone, my name is Josh Aponte and the NBA in-season tournament is underway. But first, we're going to take a look at the New Orleans Pelicans hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. And like I said, we're going to take it down to New Orleans in the Smoothie King Center where Anthony Davis and former Los Angeles Laker Brandon Ingram putting up some shots. We're going to get started with who else? LeBron James with the royal flush. Now Brandon Ingram, he'll dish it off to Yves Missi for the two-handed slam. Lakers find themselves down one, but not for long for Dalton Connect, showing what he learned down in Tennessee. Yet again, the Lakers with possession, and D'Angelo Russell finds AD the brow, and he's going to sink a triple. That was 3 of his team-high 31 points on the night. Missi returns his favor from earlier, and Brandon Ingram, that's going to be a long 2. That will be 2 of his game-high 32 points. Now, New Orleans down 1, but Brandon Ingram, I think he understands it now. The Lakers, they're going to swing the rock to LeBron James for the triple. And so nice, he had to do it twice. The King, LeGoat, bang! LeBron James Sr. with the 3. He's going to pull out the silencer. The Lakers will defeat the Pelicans 104-99. Liv, what's going on in Beantown?
Yeah, let's take you as a TD guard. I missed you, Josh. Anyways, the Celtics are hosting the Toronto Raptors. We go to the third. Jordan Walsh dishes to Sam Hauser, who knocks down the triple. Derek White in the paint, he throws it up. And Neemias Queta throws the hammer down. Let's go to the replay. Great elevation for Queta. Now we're tied at 99. RJ Barrett under the basket. Bounce pass to Chris Boucher, and he gets a corner 3 to give Toronto the lead. Jason Tatum, he is quadruple teamed, so he hits the old-timer Al Horford, who nails the three-point jumper. Later in the fourth, Barrett hits the contested 3. He finished with 25 points on the night, tied at 112. 60 ticks to go. Barrett rolls around Jaylen Brown and makes a circus shot for the layup. We head to overtime. Brown gets the rock outside the arc, and the Celtics retake the lead. But Tatum, the face of the franchise, with 2 seconds to go, he gets the game winner at the buzzer. The Celtics win it 126-123.
All right, Josh. Well, it's no secret. The Cavs are the hottest team in the NBA. Yeah. What have you seen so far from them this season?
Well, I'll tell you this. The hiring of Kenny Atkinson might go down as one of the most important moves in Cavaliers history, other than the Donovan Mitchell trade. This is why. Kenny Atkinson yet himself said before in one of the pregame interviews that his offense looks Warriors-esque.
And that's what we're seeing. We've seen a 15-0 team that is probably going to try challenging that 24-0 start from the Warriors. And this team looks fantastic. Their ball movement on offense, that's what Kenny Atkinson has brought to this team. JB Bickerstaff, he was more a defensive-minded coach. Defense was first for him. But with Kenny Atkinson, he has orchestrated such a beautiful offense that it's Warriors-esque. I mean, the ball movement is insane. Even Draymond Green said on one of the podcasts, he said, man, when we were playing those Cavs, man, I felt dizzy because that ball was whizzing everywhere. I mean, this is fantastic, and you love to see it as a Cavs fan. But look at some of the numbers. Donovan Mitchell, yet again, he's going to be Donovan Mitchell. He's putting up MVP-type numbers, 24.6 points per game. Darius Garland, when the team does well, when Darius Garland does well, the team does well. That's what I've noticed with this team. He's averaging 21.4 points per game. He needed that because the question last season was, can the core four mesh together? And we found out this season, yes, they can. And I think it was just that they needed a new coaching, a new offense. So I think that was the main problem. Evan Mobley. Kenny Atkinson has brought out the best in Evan Mobley. He's averaging 18.1 points per game, 8.8 rebounds. That's 20th best overall in the whole league. I think that the Evan Mobley project continues, and I think that he will be one of the greatest bigs in NBA history. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Yep, I'm going to say it. But not only with the core four, right? You guys on the bench. You got Ty Jerome, you got George Niang, you got Sam Merrill, you got Karis LeVert, obviously. Those guys have also played into this, and they are moving the ball, like I said before. Kenny Atkinson's offense, it works with the bench, it works with the starters, it works with everyone. And I think that they have finally figured it out. And the Cleveland Cavaliers will be 2025 NBA champions. You heard it here first.
All right, Monday, November 18th, 8:41 p.m.
Yes, yeah, I sure hope that didn't get jinxed. Anyways, along with the Cavs, are there any other teams that are sticking out to you so far?
Yes, and it's another team that made a coaching change this season. The Los Angeles Lakers. Under J.J. Redick, they look like a completely different team this season. Completely. They are 9-4, fourth in the West. They are undefeated at home. Here's the main thing. LeBron James, he is 39 years old. He should not be doing this wizardry at this age. He's going to be 40 in December. If you need more of an argument for why LeBron James is the GOAT, you're seeing it right now. And this is the best time because we need to appreciate it. We need to appreciate it because he's not going to be here much longer. You heard him in one of the post-game interviews. He said maybe, 2 seasons. If Bryce can make it to the NBA, maybe that pushes it a little bit more. But what LeBron James is doing, he's averaging 23.3 points per game. That's 21st overall in the whole league. 9.2 assists per game. That's 3rd overall in the league. 8.6 assists. No, I'm sorry. That was the assist per game. 51.4 field goal percentage. That's 36 overall. Those stats at 39 years old is insane. And honestly, I feel like if LeBron keeps playing the way he does and J.J. Redick keeps it up with this team, I feel like the Los Angeles Lakers can come out of the West. It could be a LeBron James matchup with his old team in the NBA Finals, but I don't know.
You heard it here first, folks. Place your bets. Thank you so much, Josh.
No problem.
Hello there from Franklin Hall on the beautiful campus of Kent State University. It's the one and only Timmy Carlisle here with another edition of Timmy Talks. Today on Timmy Talks, it's been 2 weeks since Sportscorner was on the air. And in those 2 weeks, the Cleveland Cavaliers have still not lost a game this season. 15-0. That's right, folks. Some of you may have saw on X, the Cavs are 15-0. There's frogs singing outside the stadium, folks. The Cavs are 15-0. We got guys singing about the Cavs and their awesome play so far this season. And as Josh just touched on, it's a few big things that I'm going to talk about right now. We got brand new head coach Kenny Atkinson leading the charge from the floor. Absolutely looking impressive out there with this squad. And then you've got players coming off the bench that are critical. Players like Ty Jerome, like Josh touched on, as well as Karis LeVert. Now, Karis LeVert is from Columbus, so he plays with that little bit of extra hometown pride when he's out there playing for the Cavaliers. This team is impressive. Now, as I said a couple weeks ago on Sportscorner, they're going to face adversity, they're going to have downswings, but so far they've responded. They came back against the Knicks when they were down, and they're going to have a huge test tomorrow against the Boston Celtics in the NBA tournament regular season tournament. So, this Cavs team is going to look to keep things going on the offensive side and look to get that 16th win tomorrow against Boston. Now, we're going to shift our focus from the Cavs to the Browns. So let's jump from the hardwood to the gridiron. Now, all season long, I know anyone listening has been patiently waiting for me to erupt on the state of football in Cleveland. Well, you're going to have to tune in next week, because this week they went out there and they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. And fortunately for Browns fans, it's good. Listen, you guys should not be rooting for the Browns to win anymore this season. You are now rooting for the future. You are looking for your draft picks. And at this point in time, a loss against the Saints is a good thing. The Saints are a bottom feeder right there with the Cleveland Browns. This loss is going to propel your draft stock. You are moving in the right direction. My goodness, I can't believe I'm saying that in a Browns loss. But we had a quarterback, if you're a Browns fan, you had a quarterback go out there and throw for 300 yards, and you still lost by 3 scores. Like, it doesn't make sense. What they are doing on a week-by-week basis, it's mind-boggling. I mean, you've got teams in their own division going out there and not scoring a touchdown, winning games, and playing entertaining football. More entertaining than the Cleveland Browns. And that team is traveling to Huntington Bank Field this Thursday night. So, can the Browns get things on track and pick up a win against the Steelers, who are sitting at 8-2? The Browns are at 2-8. If you're a Browns fan, you should be screaming, I hope not. We need all the losses we can get for the rest of the season if you're a Browns fan. You need that big draft pick. We'll see how things go. So, that's going to conclude today's segment, but I've got one more thing I want to squeeze in. Stipe Miocic, the Cleveland legend, retired from the sport of mixed martial arts after UFC 309, the pay-per-view event this past weekend. Stipe is a 2-time world heavyweight champion, including a record-setting 3 consecutive title defenses. He has 4 in his 2 championship reigns, but 3 in a row is a UFC record for most consecutive title defenses. And he's also a firefighter in Westlake. He was a firefighter in Bay Village and Independence while he was training in the UFC part-time. Once he retired a couple years ago, he started full-time in Westlake and then picked up this last title fight. Stipe, hats off to you for an incredible performance. Your inspiration and perseverance is actually what brought many fans to the sport from Cleveland, Ohio. And just hats off. You had an incredible career. And to end it with an amazing fight against John Jones, I know things might not have gone the way that you were looking for and Stipe fans were looking for, but overall, what a great performance. That's going to be all the time I've got for Timmy Talks. Let's send it back to Liv at the desk and see what's coming up next on Sports Corner.
Thanks, Timmy. Don't turn that dial. Our award-winning segments are coming up along with our Reputation era.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, kitty cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. It's time for our award-winning segment, starting with empowerment. And for empowerment this week, we're talking about the PWHL, or the Professional Women's Hockey League. The league is in its second season with 6 teams from Minnesota, Boston, New York, Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto. The season kicks off this week, and this year the teams will be taking the country by storm for the PWHL Takeover Tour with stops all across the country. I mentioned a few weeks ago that women hockey is a sport that's on the rise, so this is your chance to be a part of the future of women's sports. So pick your team and you can watch the matches on PWHL's YouTube channel. Some players to watch are Natalie Spooner from Toronto, who led the league with 20 goals and 27 points in 24 games and won the MVP award. Also, Erin Ambrose from Montreal, who won the Defender of the Year award with 18 points and 14 assists. Keep your eye on Rookie of the Year Grace Zumwinkle from Minnesota. The 25-year-old led her team in scoring with 11 goals and 19 points in 24 games. The PWHL is just getting started, so check it out.
All right, let's get chaotic, shall we? Last Sunday, the Denver Broncos were about to do the unthinkable, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. They were a Will Lutz 35-yard field goal away from handing KC their first loss of the year. It ended up getting blocked, giving the Chiefs the win, and that was the talk of the NFL in Week 10. But it's crazy to think that that sort of thing can happen in back-to-back weeks, right? Well, here's what happened Sunday in Chicago.
The Packers block it, and they're gonna win!
Yeah, baby, 2 blocked kicks in back-to-back weeks. I mean, look, these endings have been crazy, they've been unbelievable, but most importantly, they've been chaotic. That's why the Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers, you are this week's highlight on Corrali Chaos. All right, so last night, we saw the Chargers almost blow a 24-7 lead on primetime, and the term of pulling a Chargers, which means blowing huge leads, went around the sports world. So, what other teams in sports have reputations like this that you like? Go ahead, start us off.
So I'm going to go to the other team on the side of that match, the Bengals. I somehow stumbled onto Bengals Twitter and have discovered the term bungling.
Yeah.
The Bengals bungle, which means that they lose games, but in like crazy and insane ways, and often in games where their players are having the most ridiculous stat lines. They bungle. The Bengals, they bungle. To the couch.
Yeah. What do you gentlemen have for us?
Yes.
Let's go with David to start us off.
Yeah, so actually up in the newsroom, me and Della Fowler, who is a fellow Broncos fan, were talking about this. We said that I couldn't come up with a clever name like Liv did.
I stole mine. I don't give me credit for that.
Okay, well still, I couldn't come up with a clever name, but the Broncos, I feel like they have a reputation, like what I said in my discussion, of having a good quarterback and nothing else. That's it.
That's all they get.
That's all they get is a good quarterback.
Evan,
it's pretty funny.
You have Evan Schofield.
Yeah, so, we just saw a pretty cool rivalry this this Sunday, excuse me. So, you know how good the Ravens are against all these, NFC opponents, and how Lamar honestly looks like an undoubtedly certain MVP. Looks like an MVP, guys. When he plays the Steelers, they have his number. So Baltimore just has this habit of always losing to Pittsburgh, and I'm honestly trying to figure out why. It just baffles me how they kind of just look like the Patriots when they play the Steelers, and that's not a good comparison considering the Patriots are one of the worst teams in the league right now. So I think I would just say the Ravens just have this great habit of not beating the Steelers. It's really funny.
Can I ask what you have for us, Anthony Leonardi?
Well, my favorite thing recently is it's Kansas City voodoo magic. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't know what they're doing or what they're putting in that Gatorade in the Chiefs locker room, but I mean, how are they winning so many games? I mean, blocked field goals. Patrick Mahomes is getting all these interceptions called back. It's almost like it's illegal. You're not allowed to intercept Patrick Mahomes. No. They pull points out of thin air. Kareem Hunt leaves Cleveland, and all of a sudden now he can run for more than 2 yards a carry. I mean, everything that the Chiefs are doing doesn't say win, but like at the end of the game, it's like, oh, look, they won. Right. It's unbelievable. Josh?
Well, I have a couple options for mine. One, I have this one. I don't know if it will count, but the Savannah Bananas. They're known for being bananas. They're a bananas baseball team. That's what they are. But that one probably doesn't count. So I'm going to go with the old reliable, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're known for the Cavalanche.
Oh,
that's a big one.
Yeah.
The Cavalanche. I heard you say Bungle, and I was like, you know what? We're going with the good old Cavalanche. So, yeah. Timmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, I got it for you.
All right.
I don't even have to say who was on the team or describe what they did, but I'm telling you right now, if anybody gives me a problem, I will go 2009 Florida Gators football team on them, okay? You do not want to see the bad side of me because, I mean, guys, that's it. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Okay. All right. Well, what
do we say to that? I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. We're speechless for the first time in our career.
Guards ball.
I do love
guards ball. Just a
He said on that
ragtag bunch of fellas.
And
playing baseball.
there's another phrase that is used for it, but I don't believe we can say it on air. A lot of teams.
It's a low payroll, guys that are not really traded or
real lunch pail guys.
They just they're developed.
Yeah, power of friendship.
Yeah, and
power
then there you go.
The
they
power
just
of friendship.
Keep winning.
Power of friendship.
Absolutely. And that's one that they keep for a really long time. Like that's been the last 4 years. The power of friendship. I also love the power of friendship Colorado Rockies. That was a really hilarious era because
that was fun.
Name one player who was on the Colorado Rockies.
Charlie Blackmon.
Okay. Roll the prompter. I'm done with this. No. Roll the prompter.
Tebow loving Jesus, right?
The Monday Night Football update. Oh,
Clarify nothing. 2 touchdowns from Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. How you doing? It's the Joe Mixon game.
On the road, end of the first quarter. This could get out of hand.
This really could. This really could. This could be a career-defining. Quiet on the couch.
Well, for now, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Corner. We thank you all so much for watching.
For updates from us 24/7, head over to KentWire.com and be sure to tune into Overtime right here every Friday at 7 p.m. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Matt Corrali saying wherever the ball flies in the air, the Kent Staters Sports Network will be there. Good night.
Good night.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.